Good night, everyone. Good night.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
And I'll say I don't
Hello,
know
good
where
night.
put on a hat. Good night.
Oh boy. Let me see, make sure that everyone is hearing me properly. So I'm waving to Anthea. Hi, Auntie Anthea. Hi,
Hello. Hi,
Auntie
hi.
Stacy.
I'll confirm the
Hi,
premium.
Auntie. Who do we have again? We have Auntie Pearl.
Hi, I have to do the air thingy so that I can hear better.
I don't believe Renee does not recognize me with my hair.
Of course
Hi,
I do.
Renee.
I was listening to Auntie Pearl and then I was coming to you.
Well, Gemma, I
Okay.
can recognize you with
Hi,
your
everyone.
Hello.
Yes, my
I think
hair. Yes.
Miss Gunsas, I think your mic is low, so we're hardly hearing you.
Oh, is it any better?
Slightly, yeah. I think we could work with that. So thank you everyone for joining us. We do apologize for the late start, but nevertheless, we're here now. Thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, everyone couldn't make it with us today. There are some that are going to join in between, so we're hoping that they join us. But for those who aren't able to join us in this session, of course, they do have some kind words, and hopefully I'm able to share them before we wrap up today. All right, so let's get this show on the road. I know you all are like, oh my God, why Renee coming to bring us here? This thing she done know this thing was hard enough. She still want to come and talk about it again. What is wrong with Renee? But I think it's important for us to, analyze exactly what took place in the spelling bee, all the good things that occurred, even some that were considered not so good. So I really just want us to be able to dive into it a little bit and share our insights on the spelling bee itself and let everyone know what to look forward to in the future. All right, so welcome again to everyone. Thank you for joining me. And I want to allow you, because I know some parents would have seen you. Yes, they know you are the pronouncer, but they don't know who you are and why we have decided to bring you on board and to be a part of the spelling bee competition. So I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself, and I'm going to start with Auntie Antia. We call her Auntie Antia, but she's known as Mrs. and Miss Antia Clark. Hi, Miss.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Hi, hi. You hear me clearly?
I am.
Okay, great. Yeah, so hi, I'm Anthea Clark.
Wow.
And I was Renee's teacher for how many
Okay,
courses,
my
Renee?
phone gone.
About three.
Yeah, there is about three.
About three courses, really mathematics. A mathematics lecturer at Roy Tech.
Let them know I didn't do too hot in the mathematics.
Okay, yeah, all right. But you made up for it in action research, so so it was okay. And then you also did you ever print that book we were supposed to be talking about it?
I did. We did.
Oh, you
Yes,
found the copy of it.
we did. It's actually in bookstores now.
Really?
So
Oh my
it's
goodness.
in bookstores now throughout Trinidad and Tobago. My first book ever. You vetted it for me because I mean you're smart. You're the best person to go to, right?
Very good. I will look out for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right. Is that all you want to share with
Yeah,
us?
that's all.
You're a lecturer at Custard. Did you mention that?
No, I didn't mention that. That's my day job, yes. That's my full-time job. My part-time job is Roy Tech, where I met you. Yeah,
Right.
so mathematics really is my subject area, but of course, I am an educator, trained primary school teacher. So I'm into all stages of education.
Oh, great. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So now I'm going to jump to Auntie Stacy, Miss Stacy Alcantara. Hi.
Yes, greetings, everyone. I know a couple of faces here. Hi, Anthea. Hi, Thora. Gemma is somewhere there. And
Yeah,
of
she's
course,
coming back and forth.
and of course, the lady of the hour, Miss Renee, Mrs. Renee Gordon. I just want to say to you firstly, congratulations. You took on a Herculean task here. And I would say that it was a great success. And I was proud to be part of it. Honored that
Okay.
you called me at
Was it
all.
me? Was it I alone who
So
had a problem or everyone?
Sorry, Miss Alcantara was sharing. Did you have something to ask? Miss, you can unmute.
I think she was just wondering if
Who
anyone
was asking? Miss, you're there with us? Miss Jordan?
If what?
Are you there with us?
I was just knocked out of
right.
the studio. Yes, I am.
All
Are you
right.
hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
I was just knocked out of the.
I think she's having some
Me
difficulty.
now?
Delay. There's a little delay or something. Yeah.
There's a little delay. Miss Jordan, maybe you want to log out and log back in and make sure that you're okay with the internet.
This is how it has been going for school. You know, this happens.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we're working with what we have. So continue, Miss Alcantara. So we give everyone 2 minutes to share a little bit about themselves.
You know, I just wanted to mention the connection with you, and just like Anthea, I would have met you at Roy Tech. I can't remember which of the two courses that I teach, but I'm a mediator and I do teach intro to. So it's just a pleasure. So that's me. And daytime, well, I teach. I'm also an educator at the secondary level, and I taught at the primary level as well. So I know where Anthea is coming from. Yes. So it's all good.
Nice. Thanks for sharing. I'm going to jump over to Auntie Thora to give us a 2 minutes insight of who she is. Tell us a little bit about who you are. I think you have to unmute just now. Let me try to unmute. Right.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. Sorry that I came in late, and I just remembered. I heard the phone ping and I just remembered. So what do I have to say?
You're introducing yourself, who you are, and I guess how you met the beautiful Auntie Ren.
Yes, Ren. Well, I am Thora Bass. It seems as with everyone else, I've been an educator for many years. I have known Ren from the time she was a dot. Running about in church, and I was very pleased and impressed at this initiative she took on, and I was pleased to be a part of it, and I wish her all the best and hope it goes from strength to strength. But I'm involved in many things, too numerous to mention, but I think most people...
Give us two things, at least two. Give us two.
I am a retired educator, and at present, I chair the board of YTEP Limited.
Nice, awesome. You see, that was a quick two, right?
Yeah, I will not go into anything else. It's too numerous to mention.
It's a long list.
I don't think it is relevant for this time, but just to say that I'm happy to be here, happy to be part of the gang. Hi, Gemma. Hi, Stacy. Stacy, just like you, is one of my children, so we leave it at that. Stacy is and Gemma is my partner.
Oh Lord! Oh yes, I love it. All right, Mr. Thanks so much for sharing. Now we're gonna jump over. We're gonna jump over really quickly to Miss Gemma Jordan. Hi, Auntie Gemma. Everyone is getting 2 minutes to introduce themselves and possibly talk about how we met, basically. I think you would just have to unmute your mic.
Are you hearing me now?
I am. I must say that y'all are doing really good. Now I know Miss Clark she's versed with her technology a little bit, but everyone else is doing really good with the technology. I have to say.
Well, I think I have to thank the pandemic for that, because the number of meetings I've had to attend via Zoom and now StreamYard, I kept telling the groups, this is the way to go. So even when we can gather again, I want the meeting to take place and I must be in my house. But I have to say good evening to everyone. And just like Thora said, it is a pleasure being part of this initiative. I met Renee when she came into the school at which I was teaching, which was Morval Laventille Secondary School. And as many of us were teachers, and you know that somehow there's always this connection with particular students. I can't explain it, but it just happens. And this is what happened with Renee and me. We just clicked so much so that, you know, we would just sit and chat. Then I got to know her darling grandmother. I got to know her father. Her brother was also in school. So it was a family affair. But Renee has always been very sweet, very loving, very caring. And because of her grandmother having a preschool, this love for children since then to me was evident in Renee, because she would always talk about helping her grandmother in the preschool. So I was not surprised when she got into this field, and more so dealing with our little darlings, because as a teenager, she showed her love for the children. So I'm happy that Renee called me and took me back to school to be one of the pronouncers.
Nice.
Because when she called me, I laughed. I said, Renee, I just read, you know. But when I now have to remember, okay, miss, you're not just reading, you have to pronounce. I wouldn't lie. I said, Renee, I have never taught infants. I've always taught the older children.
I think we lost a bit there.
I said, Renee, if you have a chart with the pronunciation of the letters, please.
I think we're losing her. Is anyone else losing her a little bit? Yeah, Miss, I think we're losing you a little bit with the internet, but don't worry, we're gonna get into that. What you were speaking about just now. Miss, are you hearing? I think we kind of lost her, but basically we got where she was coming from. I met her when I was going to Morval Laventille, and she is my favorite teacher from that school, and from ever since we just continue with the relationship. And I think now we have one more person joining us. I think we lost Auntie Pearl. Auntie Pearl, internet is giving trouble, and I wonder if Uncle Ravi is with us.
Uncle
Ravi is with us.
I definitely am. How are you doing? You ladies are all dressed up and stuff like that, and I'm just ready to be comfortable in my t-shirt. Anyway,
no, Ravi, I'm not dressed up. I am tearing up paper.
All right, no problem. Well, you could have fooled me with the way you're looking.
This is a little throw I keep on the back of my chair because I always have on a vest. So whenever I have to put on my camera, I just take this in.
I won't ask anyone to stand up then.
No.
Anyway, my name is Ravi Raghunath, and I've had the pleasure of
Don't say stand.
So I've had the pleasure of working with Ren since I think April. We started off, officially kicked off, where Ren is basically in charge of our preschool, and she's basically organizing our summer program as well. So it's a partnership between CTS and Ren Bright Beginners, and it's really a pleasure working with Ren. She adds so much value to what it is we're doing, and we have so many similarities as well in terms of how we view education, how we view our kids and stuff, you know. So that's basically a little quick 2-minute on me and my relationship with Ren. So I'm probably the newest in terms of relationship with Ren in terms of her timeline, but I'm so happy to be part of this crew.
Awesome, Ravi. So happy to have you. And please let everyone know who you are. We know your Uncle Ravi, but who is Ravi Raghunath?
Well, in terms of Ravi Raghunath, I'm a proud father of one, and I'm the executive director of CTS College. CTS College is a private educational institution. Started about 21 years ago. A group of friends wanting to start their own business, but we had our own plans, but God had His own plans for us. And the good thing is, His plans always prevail. And therefore, we were a consultancy company at the start, and now we are an educational institution. So
beautiful, awesome. So I have one of the best panels here ever. Like you can't ask anyone better. So I am so happy to have each and every one of you here. And thank you so much for introducing yourself. I just wanted everyone who would be viewing to get an idea of who you are and see why we may have chosen you or did choose you to be a part of our pronouncers lineup. So let's kind of get into it now. I want to hear a little bit about the process of preparing for this spelling bee competition. Now, I know Rafi may not be able to stay for the entire duration, and that's okay. I think he's working with his students. So we understand, Rafi, just let me know when you have to pop out. But we definitely want to hear about the process to preparing for the spelling bee, because I don't think people know what that was like. So let's hear from Auntie Thora. Auntie Thora, what was this process like to preparing to be a pronouncer on our spelling bee competition? You unmute for me.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yes. I had never taught infants per se. However, as principal, I had to interact. I interact very closely with my infant department. I had an awesome first year teacher there, and we would always, think of exciting ways to deliver the curriculum to the infants, to the first years at least. And so, yes, I could be a pronouncer, but I had to go and practice because I'm so out of practice that when Renee sent me the list of words, I had to ensure that I was pronouncing correctly, saying the word correctly. So it was like sending me back to school. So I enjoyed that though. I enjoyed that though, because sometimes you move to a level where you take that for granted. And even listening to the children as they went through the whole exercise, I was, taken back to those days of interacting with my first year teacher. So that is what I had to do. I actually had to take the list and pronounce and remember how to sound the words and how to put my tongue between my teeth and how to ooh and ah, and to ensure that I have the right sound for you and oh and all the rest like that. So that was nostalgic for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
I have some, but I don't know, probably that will come at the end or otherwise, because I was a little disappointed with the behavior of some of the parents. I don't know if you just okay, you get to that. Okay.
All right.
And
thanks for sharing.
All right.
All right, let's hear really quickly from Miss Jordan. Miss Jordan, how was the process for you?
Oh, the process was so interesting. And Renee sent me the words. I said, oh my goodness, I can read them, but to sound out each letter for the children, as I said, I had to go right back to school. I called Renee. I said, Renee, do you have the phonics chart? Send it to me, please, because I need it for hours. And then I said, hello, there's something called Murphy's Law. So I sat down at that hour of the morning, typed up the words, and put the pronunciation of each letter next to the word. So for example, if I had the word, I typed hot, and then I put hot, next state. And if I had pot, I typed make sure on the day I got it right.
Right.
I said, Renee, you have taken me
right back to school.
Right back to school, because in spite of the fact that I can read, and that's the field I'm into, because I'm an announcer, boy, children, it was challenging, and I'm going right to school.
I get it. And she's speaking the truth, eh? She did ask me to send her the phonics. And you know what we did? I actually have the the Western
but it was
reader
joy, really.
with the
Victoria said she had to go right to. I went right
I had
back.
the song.
Yes.
And I sent it to her on WhatsApp. So we were going back and forth. And I know Auntie Stacy and Auntie Anthea, I think y'all got it tongue pack, right? Y'all was showing off on that day. Right?
I think I have to credit my singing background maybe for some of that, because, I sing with marionettes and we have to pronounce things, properly. So
right.
That could be part of it. But also my son has had difficulty in the past, so he has attended lessons. He did the Orton Gillingham program for dyslexia and things like that. So it is something that I have been looking at, since when he was in infants, trying to help him. And he did a little program, and I had these little cards, and I used to have to practice at home with him. So it is something that I have had in my background, but I never really quite taught. The lowest I ever taught was standard 1.
Okay. What about you?
You have to do phonics per se.
Well, you did a good job. Let's say that it paid off. It really did pay off. Stacey, what about you?
Well, for me, I did have the opportunity to teach infants.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I would have trained in the OJTs. That's how I met Auntie Thora. She was my instructor, very loving, very, very patient. And then I was just thrust into a class. When I came out of that program, after the program, my first appointment, I wouldn't call it school. I enjoyed my time, but they thrust me into a very challenging infant class. And what I learned definitely paid off, because it's not just about what you learn in the books. But still, when I was finished, I said, Renee, that was hard work, because you have to from here and here and here and here, to get the right pronunciation, and my gosh, and you're trying to smile and do all the other things, but showbiz. But those children were well prepared despite whatever pronunciation. They were real stars, and I was really impressed with those children. So hats off to the teachers and whatnot.
And the parents as well. Yeah, we're going to definitely get to congratulating them as well. We're going to get to that point. Now, Auntie Pearl join us. Auntie Pearl, we literally given 2 minutes because we're speeding up because you already started late. So I'm just giving 2 minutes to just tell everyone a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you met Auntie Ren. You have to unmute, Auntie Pearl. Make sure you're unmuted.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that part. Good night, everybody. Who I am? I call myself a performance management consultant. I work as a consultant to help people develop achieving their goals and objectives, changing careers, changing jobs. And I did volunteer work with the youth business of Trinidad and Tobago, assisting them with young entrepreneurs development. That's where I met Auntie Ren. Well, since that meeting, I have not been able to let her go, or I don't know if it's she hasn't been able to let me go, or I haven't been able to let her go. But it's not been separated. There's been no separation. Mentoring Auntie Ren in her business was one of the first opportunities I got to mentor a young entrepreneur. Since then, I've been doing a lot of that. Aside from that, I'm a medical social worker, and the bulk of my work is done volunteer. But I've been trained to, well, it was interesting dealing with these little babies because I was trained to work with adults and educate adults, train them in various skill sets and so forth and so on. So at no point in time did I have the need to sound any words in my conversation. When I had to learn them sounding, hear me. Did I ever learn this when I was going to school? I don't recall that at all. The words just sounded the way they should sound, right? Then I have to figure out if it's eh. I'm like, okay, I'll survive this eventually. But it was fun, and I thought those children were like fantastic. Really, they really are. And it's one of the things that, as a performance management consultant, I get very excited about, because sometimes I encounter parents who are so concerned about the future of their children that they don't understand that they just have to accept that the children have the capacity to learn and help them learn. And then they would be happy, you know? So that's who I am.
Nice. Thanks for sharing, Auntie Pearl. Now, just to clear up that part where you don't know if it's you could can't let go or vice versa. I can't let go. So even if you want to shake me, you can't get away. So get accustomed to it, right? Auntie Pearl and I usually on the phone like after 1, after 2 in the morning. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. Why are we up that hour? But we can't help it. We can't help it. Yeah. So I really have a history with everyone here. And I'm so happy for building that relationship with you. And I definitely hope that we can continue to build on that relationship, as we all have been in education. And even though you're saying retired or was and past tense, you're always going to be an educator. You're always going to be in education. So that is not going to change. So I definitely hope that with your educational background, you can now help me to develop this spelling bee competition into a big one, into a national competition. When they hear the name, they must say, I remember when this started off on the internet. Right? So, so I'm so happy to have you here. Now, as I said, some persons don't know how hard it was for you all to go back in time.
Go back in time? That wasn't back in time. That was pain.
Right? And I literally sat with some pronouncers like an hour and a half, and where they on the phone. Not let me go not right? I literally spent like an hour and a half.
Renee, do you remember the letter I? That was the one that really got to me. The I. Oh my gosh. I said, Renee, I will see BIT and I know it's bit. Okay, so I will read bit. But when I had to sound it out, I say, oh my gosh, every time for the I, oh Lord. But pronunciation is so important. And as I said, I enjoyed it. Oh, and by the way, I kept the phonics chart on my phone.
Very good.
I kept it. So I have your alphabet on my phone. So who knows, I may go back and try to pronounce the letters again.
I mean, nothing wrong with that.
But it was really, because, really nice.
Next year is right around the corner. So,
no, because I may. But not only that. I said, if I encounter someone whose child is having difficulty reading, and I don't know how many people have those books. That was out of the school. It was more the Republic readers or something like that. And I said, if I encounter someone whose child is having problems, I can just forward, the pronunciation, the phonics chart. So that's why I kept it, because I see it can help other people.
Right.
Because with your children, what really impressed me is you are simply because
I think we're losing you in between, Miss Jordan. I think we're losing you in between. So like we're trying to piece together what you're saying.
I'm losing.
Yeah, we're trying to put
and
it
I'm
together.
losing some of you all in between.
I think we're all viewing fine. I think I haven't been losing anyone. I think I'm fine. I've seen Stacey nodding, so she's fine. Anthea is nodding, she's fine. So I think it could be something with your internet. We blaming the provider, by the way. We blaming them. We passing on the blame one time. Right? But sorry, we couldn't hear exactly what you were saying, but we'll definitely talk about it a little more.
But
so
the thing about it says to me, the internet says to me, signal is strong, so I really don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it says that, but it really isn't. That's like a trick. All right, so I actually have something I want to share with everyone. I want to share some bloopers. So I hope you will enjoy these bloopers of these pronouncers who may have made some errors in their pronunciation. So do enjoy.
Okay, and the next person is Jada, and your word is bid. B-d.
Can you repeat it?
Yes, Jada, the word is bid. B-d.
B-I-D.
You almost spelled that before I said it. Well done.
Isaiah, please spell the word pig. Pig. Pig.
Akila, it's your turn, and your word is bin. Bin.
B-I-N. Bin.
Kamaya, you're up next, and your word is pit. Pit.
P-I-T. Pit.
Thank you. And Jalen, your word is keg. And I'm going to ask Auntie Ren to pronounce it for you. Your word is keg.
Did y'all check that out? Oh my god, I was dying with laughter over here. I'm hearing the no, and I'm getting the no. So you see, I'm sure some of you in the midst of doing it didn't even realize, oh my god, I just pronounced that wrong. It's just that you're so focused on getting the word and getting it done. I had to
I should have said, I should have asked Auntie Ren to pronounce it.
I feel the children could have pronounced it for you. If you had said the word is bin. Isabel, can you pronounce the word for the speller, please? I think it would have helped you.
But that is what amazed me, you know. That is to tell you how well prepared those children were.
Yeah.
Because despite whatever the pronouncer is there busy trying to pronounce, but from the time they say the word, the children were ready. You even saw them like looking around. But they knew the word. So that's why I said they were so well prepared. I was really impressed. But it's easy to mispronounce some of those words, you know. It's very easy.
Listen, I was looking at some of your faces, right? And you see how relaxed you are now? Because you're talking and some of you are literally like
concentrating.
But it was serious business, Ren.
Exactly. Serious business. In addition, you were on test today, you know. I was on test, so you had to be alert and concentrate.
I was weak.
Well, the thing is, I was on test not to make it to the pronouncer's blooper. What you call this segment? Pronouncers. What?
Bloopers.
Something.
Yeah.
Right. So I was on test not to make it to the pronouncer's bloopers, but apparently I did. Aunt Renee, you put me in the pronouncer.
We had had to, because I think that some of you, I said you're going to laugh at yourself when you see it. So I said, listen, I have to show them it. I have to show them how serious they were. Like, this was not, like, we look at it as a competition for the children. But little do they know, this is like for you. Yes, I have to get it right. It's like a competition too.
But Auntie Ren, you know, I was looking at you. I said, oh gosh, you could have saved some people, man.
I did
what's happening?
I did
Yes.
save a few.
Yes.
But in my mind, I'm like rolling, want to roll off the chair because I'm like, oh my God, we practiced this one last night. What a fun.
But it just goes to show, you know, the work. Sometimes people think that preschool and infants, you know, is not as hard as probably, you know, the secondary or tertiary. But there's a challenge at each level based on what you're working with and, you know, what the readiness level of the learners. So much respect. You know, now that I had to go back, much respect to the work you all do at the preschool. I've never taught at the preschool, so much respect.
Yeah. So the teachers,
We do not remember
principals.
that the preschool is the foundation, and without a good foundation, the building can't stand.
Agreed.
So,
Definitely agree. So we actually have to give hats off to the teachers and the principals, because you were seeing some of the children when you even sounded it out for them. They were still there in their own space saying b, and then they were spelling the words. So the teachers, the principals, even the parents, because remember now you're working from home. So the teachers can't really work with them personally, but because they have laid that foundation, as Ms. Beth said, that foundation from before they went home during the pandemic, the parents were able to work with them and they came out and showed their true colors and show how hard work really do pay off. So the principals, the teachers, the parents, you know, job well done. That was really excellent. Now, during the show, during the competition, we did have this, it was live as well as we're doing now. And we had the family members share comments. They commended us for a job well done. Of course, they would, if you would have shared their opinion in terms of what they would like to share as critique, right? But there were so many comments, I couldn't go through and save all, but I did select a few to highlight. So let's take a look at some positive feedback that we received, right? So here we have Latoya, where she's cheering on the little ones, and then she's also saying, you know, thanks for making this fun for them, right? So we really thank you, Latoya, for your positive feedback. Then we have Michael, where he's saying, you know, wonderful program as the children have fun learning. And that was our idea. That was the objective. Because we were celebrating our 5-year anniversary, we definitely wanted to do what we love, which is educating, teaching something, but at the same time doing it in a very fun way. So thank you so much, Michael, for your feedback. Also, we have Shalene. Shalene is commending us, you know, Auntie Ren, good job. You're always innovative and thinking about ways to showcase the little ones. Continued blessings to Ren's Bright Beginners. I'll forever be a supporter of something so great. And of course, happy birthday, Ren. Well, I think that is where a lot of persons got a little confused. They thought it was my birthday specifically. Not Shalene. She knew it was the school, but because everyone commented and said, happy birthday, Ren, they didn't pick up that it was actually the school we were talking about celebrating its 5th anniversary, which in itself is a milestone, because as Auntie Pearl would have stated, she's mentored me throughout my journey in having my school, you know, opening my business. So she, for one, definitely understand all that I've been through within that 5-year period to make sure that we get to this point, right? I don't know, Auntie Pearl, you still there with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
You're hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. So I was just
Nice.
saying, you definitely have been there when it comes to the school aspect, and seeing how we've grown and how we've blossomed.
Oh, yes.
So small,
Oh,
and
yes.
we're just
And
continuing growing.
yes, yeah. And I have to say that interacting with a few of the parents for the school, their appreciation of how their children were learning, because they found their children learning in a much more enjoyable environment when they started learning and preparing to move on to primary school, because that was the major worry for a lot of the parents. And the school, while it's business, yes, but there was something special about how the children were being developed to transition into the primary.
Yes, thanks so much for sharing, Auntie Pooh. All right, so we're moving on again to another comment. Oh, I think this one came in when a pronouncer asked me to help a child. I think a child, I believe it was Jalen, and he, you know, he was shy and he didn't want to answer the word, and I was asked to assist. And someone commented and they said, pronouncer, you have an important role, but you have to remember Auntie Ren has a special way in connecting with these children's heart, right? More than the pronouncer may connect. I laughed a little because what they don't know is that I actually don't know any of the children. You actually didn't know any of the children. I only know the students that represented my school, right? So I know that also had a lot to do with it. And our last one in terms of our reviews and comments is these that they would have shared for the children, where they were congratulating them, wishing them the best of luck. I'm seeing Auntie Genevieve also in that lineup, and congratulating the children and the schools as well. So these are some comments that I was able to receive from the Facebook page and the YouTube channel as well, because we stream both on Facebook and on YouTube. So those are some really positive feedback, and I'm so happy that I was able to go through and read them because they were very encouraging. Now, let's get into a little critique. So we're going to get into some critique, especially some that we saw online. So we're going to go there first. So we have one critique here where this particular parent, and I've been seeing this showing up a lot during the comments, where persons are saying, please follow the rules given for the competition, and the parents are talking to the children, and the rules stated not to talk during the competition, and the parents just continue talking. And of course, because it's virtual, it's impossible for you to determine whether the parent is telling the child the word or not, right? So I think some parents were having difficulty with that. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this specifically? Maybe we could go to Auntie Flora.
All right. Yes.
In terms of the rules, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the rules are there to be broken sometimes, and the parents are the ones most of the time when children are involved who break the rules. There is nothing you can do because you were not there. You know it because of how it was set up, and the child was with the parent. There was nothing you could do about it. And this is why I think I said this to you before. If it were in another setting where you had the children, but the parents were not near to them, that would not have occurred. But the parents become so invested in it and so want their children to do well, they cannot help themselves. And while the competition is going on, there's nothing that you can do about it. You know, it would be infra-dig in a way to say to a parent over the internet while the show is going on, please don't pronounce the words or so. You have to say it in a very diplomatic way. So there, in a way, there is nothing you can do about it because of the way it was done, because of the way it was set up. There are some parents who might have insisted, I don't know, I just saw, I think, one other set apart from mine, who would have been, you know, coaching the children and so on. But what do? Do you then disqualify them there? You do not want it to leave a bad taste, something like that, to leave a bad taste in the mouth of the competition. Yeah. So yes, parents are going to say all kinds of things, as we spoke about already too. Feeling that you have a bias for one child or another, and there really is nothing you can do about it. But you have rules, you must have rules. Number one, you will reiterate the rules at the beginning of the competition and probably again as you go along. But it's so that there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
At least that's my at this level and in this kind of setting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So we would just
To add to what Tora is saying too, hopefully when your next spelling bee comes up, it would be outside of the pandemic where you can have everybody in one setting and you set up the children by themselves so that the parents cannot influence
So
them
that the
or
children, as I said, they don't face the children. The children don't face the parents.
the parents. Because the
Yes.
parents will be tempted to mouth
All
the
the
letters
time, all
for
the
the
time,
child,
all the time.
right? So, and yes, you must have rules, and but I think that was, I don't know if I'm wrong, but to me that was more the exception than what
Oh
was
yes.
happening, because when I was doing my segment, I really can't remember any parent like kind of helping the child to
Something, yes.
spell the word or anything like that. So you will have the exception, but you have to you managed it well, because I remember you saying to some parents, remember, leave the child, whatever. So you managed it well. And next time you're gonna be in one venue and everything is going to go well. And I can't see, well, the first thing I said to Renee, when I said, Renee, where are the children from your school? So when you said just now that you don't know the competitors, because I remember my first comment was, so nobody from your school is there, So I'm glad that you cleared this up so that the parents would know that you did not have a bias towards any particular child or any particular school. Everything was done on the basis of merit.
Yeah,
And you
definitely.
see, sometimes that is a hard pill for a parent to swallow, no matter how well it is couched, no matter how the rules even are laid out, because parents will always feel their little prince or princess should have won, was biased against, and that kind of thing.
Right.
Right?
And
So
I agree. Yeah.
yeah, so that we have the rules, you have to reiterate the rules constantly. But as I said, because of how it was set up, and hopefully the next time around there will be no pandemic. The pandemic will be a thing of the past, and we will be able to sit in a hall where we can, arrange the children in another way so that the parents can't speak to them, can't even sign to them or anything like that.
All right. I think Stacey wanted to share something.
What I was happy,
Yes.
one thing, what I was happy about, because I always have a problem disqualifying a child on the basis of the action of the parent.
That's
so
right.
I was very happy that did not take place, because it would have been very unfair to the child if you are disqualified because your parent decided to spell the word.
That's right. That's right. Agreed.
Stacey wanted to share something, and I'll go back to Gemma when it pertains to what you just said there. Stacey,
Right.
go ahead.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that I agree. It was a very stressful. It could have been very stressful for the participants and the parents and for everyone. But I think the fact is this was the first time, and this is a novel event. And I would agree with Gemma in that I think it was the exception, and therefore that is a success in itself. That there were so few persons who had issue with, you know, how things turned out. And I want to commend you, you know, Renee, because the effort you made, just, you know, indicating parents stay here, you did out all the rules. I think you did everything, you know, within your power, apart from putting a camera inside people's house, right? You couldn't do that. You did everything else possible, you know. I agree. This was very challenging. But I was so impressed. I said I have to discuss with you how to bring it to my school, because I think there's so much value in it. Even the little challenges, you know, it's fun. The benefits outweigh that.
Yeah.
So
I think someone,
to parents who did not fall.
Yeah.
Who follow the rules. I will commend those parents, because you can't put so much stress on your children. Parents don't realize that when you get so anxious and you start to cheat in the competition, you know, that you are passing on values, you are teaching them how to handle competitions and stress. I want to urge parents, please, the things you do and say and don't do and don't say, you are teaching your children, okay?
Definitely, definitely. I think someone actually messaged me, because of course my number was on the page, so my contact was there. So persons viewing in would of course be saving that number, and if they see something or they see a query, the first thing they do is send a message. So one person, I can't remember who it was, that said, you should have told them to get 2 cameras, and they should have one in the front of them and one at the back, so like you could see if there's somebody on that side. I was laughing, you know. I mean, it's not a bad suggestion, don't get me wrong. But imagine us making the criteria that a parent has to have 2 cameras and they have to situate it in a certain way. And, you know, that could have been a whole drawn out process and discouraging to most of
and
the
there
parents.
is no need for that. There is no need for that, because you have to let everyone stand on their own integrity. And
Correct.
if they break the rules, then we are able to recognize that, and they know that they break the rules, you know, and that in itself is a learning situation. So there is no need for that. And even at this level, so what will happen when it go to spelling bee and then 5th standard? You know, these are the things that happen. These are the things that happen. I mean, it comes back to, and Jamu could corroborate this, to Junior Calypso. Once the person does not win, you're against them. You know.
So it goes a long ways, not just on this small level, but
any time you have competition. Now it is a pity that we have to have competitions, but again, as Stacey says, competitions improve character too. There is a time and place. There is a good in it, you know.
Absolutely.
There are advantages. It is a pity, but it is an exciting event. And I found that this was very creative, and there is no need to legislate for every single eventuality. There's no need.
Agreed. You know? Anthea, looks like Anthea just want to weigh in really quickly, and then we're moving on.
I found that the incidences that I saw of complaints, parents helping and stuff, were very minimal. And the majority of the children and their parents, they did practice good faith, good, you know, competition spirits, you know, and they were cheering on everyone. They were saying, you know, well done to everyone. Yes, there were people who were calling out their niece, nephew, child, whatever. But, you know, generally I found that the parents really took part, and I commend the parents for preparing the children and for logging on and sitting there and probably having to sit on their hands. You know, you saw them trying to poke. You saw the little poking in the back because you could tell that was going on. But it was minimal.
Yeah. I think for your wrong specifically.
And you know, there was an advantage. There was an advantage to having the parent there, because to me, it gave the child a sense of security, because they looked at the parent many times. I wouldn't use the word for validation, but they were asked the word and they looked at the parent for the encouragement And so it gave them a sense of security, a sense of, yes. So there was that advantage to having the parent right there with the child. So I think it's just, once the parents follow the rules, things will go well.
Right.
Because remember, these are little tiny kids.
Definitely, yeah. So to touch on what Anthea was saying, I think, Anthea, at your level, at your point in the competition, because we've been through it so many times in the prelims and the semis, by the time they were at the final round, every parent had got it, meaning that they had gotten the idea, I am to sit, I am to be quiet, and I am not to talk. I am to just be there to encourage my children or to assist them with the device. But I mean, in the beginning, on the first day, on that Friday, ooh, darling, yes, we had it to do, right? But like I said, as the days went by the second day, you were seeing it a lot better, and by the finals, everyone had grasped it. So I think for you, you didn't necessarily have to experience that, so that was good. And Auntie Gemma, where you were saying that you were happy to see that a child wasn't disqualified on because of the errors of the parents and not following the rules specifically. And also when you spoke about us agreeing that we didn't know the students, we had students in the competition, but of course they didn't advance, which I felt was like fate. I think that just, I mean, it's unfortunate to say that, but I was in some weird way, I was saying, you know, maybe that occurred so that there would not be any sort of favoritism being, it would not have been shown, but no parent would have regurgitated something like that, right? And unfortunately, a child was disqualified during the competition because a parent, not because the parent didn't follow the rule or that they were kind of speaking to the children and encouraging them, but because the parent actually spelled the word online, and we heard it. Yeah, so we heard it. Now, mommy she's a really nice person. She spoke with me after. She did message me after, which I felt was very big of her, because she did say she would love for her child to be in future competitions and whatnot. But what she was saying is that she thinks the excitement got to her because she's been working with the child for so long and so many days that when the pronouncer said the word, she actually was the word that said tip. I think it was tip or something. TIP tip. And then she's like, oh no, you know, and she spelled the word. Of course, that did not occur online. We did not do the disqualification for everyone to see. But after the entire competition, that specific day was over, we would have consulted with the school. And of course, they understood the reason why the child was unable to move on. Right. And that was a very unfortunate circumstance. And also touching on that, you know, usually in a sport, if someone is disqualified, right, that winner is disqualified, the runner-up usually takes the space of that person. And it was weird enough that the child that would have taken the space of that disqualified participant was actually someone from our school. It was Kyle. And because we did not want it to look in the eyes of the public like, hey, they didn't disqualify the person alive, but they did it after because they wanted the spot or something like that, we had to make the sacrifice and not give the child the spot, which was like a sacrifice of its own, you know, because the child was unable to take the place and move on. So we all made a sacrifice one way or the other. Right, and it was a bit unfair, but Ms. Bess, we spoke about it, and you did say, you know, sometimes these things happen, and for the greater good of the competition, let's leave the spot open, and that's what we did. Right?
They say justice must not only be done; it must appear to be done. You know, so nobody can say you were biased.
That's right.
Correct. Very true. Correct. So I think Pearl has joined us again. So we're halfway through. We're almost there to the end. Auntie Pearl is mixing out the whole discussion here.
I know. I'm like, what is with this flow people tonight? Zapping me off the internet.
Yes, I'm so sorry that you're going through this, but nonetheless, you'll be able to weigh in going forward. And of course, because we're trying to not go on for too long, we're going to keep our comments minimal. We share what we have to share, but minimal, right? So everyone would be able to share their views as well. So I have 3 specific incidences, or wouldn't say incidences, but 3 specific situations that occur where parents felt like their children were not good. We're getting some noise with the television. That's not. What? Oh, that was Pearl. Pearl, I just muted you because you were getting a lot of noise in the background. Right? Yes. So as I was saying, this is where some parents felt like their children were cheated out of either advancing or even winning. And these are the 3 things that I definitely want us to take a look at and to hear your views. Of course, when we did review it, there was definitely no sort of favoritism being done or taking place. It is just a matter of the rules being followed. Right? So I'm going to share one with you. This one was in the preliminary round, so we're going to just do one in every round. So one for prelims, one for semis, and one for finals. So we have Azria. Of course, we gave her a word, and the parent felt like she was cheated, right? She was supposed to advance, and she spelled the word correctly, and she should have been given the opportunity to move on. Now, again, this did not turn into anything, especially with the principals. We all dealt with it civilized in a civilized manner. So this is just a quick review again, and not so much to highlight the child or to bring any embarrassment or anything as such. Right? So it's just to highlight the situation. So let's just take a quick look. Azria, can you spell the word cod for me? Right, so this section, Auntie will not be sounding it out for you. Right, so Auntie's just going to say the word and you are going to spell the word for me. Okay? So can you spell the word cod? Cod.
Miss, you can repeat that?
Yes, I can. Can you spell the word cod? Cod.
C-O-D. Could.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your mom here? Where do you tell us from?
Mute your mic so Auntie can hear what Mommy is saying.
Did you say let us spell cod or cob? Cod.
Ethan, please mute your mic. The word Ethan, please mute your mic. So the word was cod.
Cod.
That's the word. Cod.
Thank you.
All right, so in that situation, the parent felt like the child was cheated out of advancing, and of course, he took it a little further, where it was posted on social media. He expressed how he felt. I think there were like more than one instance where he expressed how he felt. I think there was someone else who was commenting or messaging on their behalf as well. I'm not certain, but just highlighting some of the points that they have made where they felt like there was dishonesty and unfairness in terms of the child not being able to advance and that the child was eliminated unfairly. All right, so I don't know, I'm gonna probably have you all just a quick 2 minutes share how, I know you couldn't read everything, but what is your view on that specific word and the child in terms of the spelling of the word and stuff? Because of course she did not want to correct.
I want to go first because of the pronouncer thing, because that was one that I kept getting wrong with cud and cod to get the O sound and the U sound. And I think when I looked at it, you were trying your best to focus on it as a U sound. Even when the parent said it, she said it with a U sound as opposed to an O sound. So the child, in terms of the child spelling it, she got an O sound when she spelt it. So that would be how she got it wrong. But I think that's one of the nuances in a spelling bee where, which helps to have the competition where it's the child, if you repeated it a few more times, she might have gotten it after that. But once she spelt it, that meant she was in or out once it was spelt. Yeah. So I don't know that it was evidence of it being unfair. It was just, that's what happens in spelling bees, because you're listening and trying to hear the sound and then spell out the word. So, but I remember that when I saw you saying it, hear me, okay, I'm glad I'm not in this part to get the U and the O sound.
Nice. Anyone else just want to give like a really brief, some brief feedback on it?
I would say, Rennie, to overcome that, instead of saying you are not going to pronounce the word, you're not going to sound it out, then the word should be given in a sentence. And
We had, okay, so just to remind you, I know it's been a while since we reviewed it, but we did. So what we did is we had a round where we put the words in sentences. So we had 3 levels. So we had the first set of words that they learned. So every round, the students knocked that out of the park, like 4 rounds. And then the first bonus round, we put it in sentences, right? And then they knocked that out of the park as well. So we have to find a way now to start to eliminate. Otherwise, we're going to sit there and go on all day with the competition.
Well, then, in my opinion, then this should not be a discussion, because you gave the word, she spelled it incorrectly. Once it's spelled, as Pearl is saying, she spelled it incorrectly. Okay, thank you. We move on. You are eliminated. And the parent has to understand that. And that is just what we are saying. Sometimes the parent, they feel their child is, put upon and done badly by. But what is the rule? You gave the word, the child spelled it incorrectly, the child is eliminated.
Okay,
and as you said, eliminated.
Let me ask a question.
In sight, but eventually.
What was the word?
The word was cod. Cod. So in teaching sounds, we know that when we say you, it is up. So kind of like up, so your mouth is open like cod. But if it's the O sound, we put our mouths into that form of O. And if we're going to say the one with the O, we say cod. So you actually see the difference in terms of how it is pronounced. Now, of course, if that isn't taught, then that is where the challenge is going to come in, right? So as the teacher, we know that cod with the mouth open is you, or any word at all with you, the mouth is open. But if it's the O, we form our mouth into like a O, and then we go, oh, cod, cod. You actually hear the difference. So cod and cod. So there's like a difference in the pronunciation.
Were the parents informed of this?
Cod.
And that's the thing. She also said could, right? That wasn't the word. The word wasn't could, right? Anthea, to answer that question, in our principals meetings, what we said to them is that, hey, this word bank you're going to use, and these are in your first set of rounds. After that, we're going to go into words that they do not know, which is going to be placed in sentences. And after that, if they don't, if they still bypass that, then we have to go to a different set of words that could either be O words, U words. Once it's a word family, we're using it. So they are privy to exactly how we were going to do it. It's just that the children definitely could not have learned over 500 words or 200 words, but they did learn at least 100 words for the spelling bee. Yeah. So that
it is unfortunate it is unfortunate that the parent acted like that, but that is the rules, and I don't see that there was any bias against the parent, against the child, not even the parent, against the child. So I don't even bother about it. It's unfortunate, but you know,
Yeah,
that is how
definitely.
social media is now.
Yes, yes. So we're moving on. Like I said, we're doing one of each. Because of course, everyone's feedback is valuable. We've heard from the parents, we heard from the principals, we're hearing from the pronouncers now. So we're going to one from the semifinals, and I'm going to show the video, and then we're going to just talk about it really briefly after.
Kyla, your word is cow. Cow.
Cow.
Let me,
Cow.
Can I say it for her?
let me pronounce it. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. This is Kyla. Who are we with? Who are
Kyla.
we with?
Kyla.
Kyla, your word is cow. Cow.
No, cow.
Could you spell it for me? So, Uncle, just forget to mention that. Remember, in this round, we will not be sounding out the words. So, we are just saying the words and you have to spell the words, right? So, Auntie's going to repeat. For this round, we will not be sounding the word. We will only be saying it and you have to spell it, okay? And your first word is cow. Cow.
No, cow.
You have to spell it for me. So tell me the letters. How do we spell that word? Cow.
Try it, go ahead.
Cow. Listen carefully. Cow.
C. C. U. N. Cow.
Thank you. All right. So in this instance, so again, I'm going in terms of the competition, right? What the word was, and then I'm going to share the comments or the feedback that we would have received. So from this, we would have gotten a comment on Facebook where the person would have stated that she's not going to be following the competition anymore, that it was unfair. Oh gosh, I don't think you're getting to see all, but it's just basically saying that every child should have spelled a phonogram, etc., etc. And then we would have also received some, messages or a message more or less where she was requesting a rematch, right? For this specific wrong. So because she felt like the child, was sort of cheated out of it. And also on this very same in this spelling here, we got some feedback from the parent, and where she stated it was visible to everyone that y'all had favorites in the competition and got rid of those that y'all didn't want. These kids were given harder words to attempt, and it was unfair to them. And when we did ask what we could do better, that we should give them a fair chance. She said that we should have given them a fair chance so that their full potential can be seen. Now, before I allow you to comment, I just want to say one thing on it. I think that parents didn't understand that when it comes to the bonus rounds, no pronouncer got specific words for a specific child. So that round there was the third bonus round. And in that bonus round, the words are just listed. So you get like a whole list of words and we leave it up to the pronouncer. I think all of you reached to that point in the competition. I think excepting Antia, because she had assistance along the way, but every other pronouncer would have had that opportunity to go to the supplemental list and randomly select a word. Now, it just so happened that Uncle Suraj chose cow. He chose cow. OW is a word family. Oh, right? Cow, no. bow, right? So all of those word families, and we did let everyone know, or all the principals know, that we are using word family words that are formed with the word families. So they are aware that we're using this. So in terms of phonogram and all these different things, it's word families. That's all we're working with. It's a part of the word family list, and that is all we work with. And Suraj do not know who this child is, and he definitely chose out of a list of over 50 words. He just randomly chose that word. And I think another child got the word right after, and she got now. Now, some parents were very, even though their children didn't advance, they were still very happy. And that parent actually spoke with me after. I think she's actually in our summer program right now. And that parent who child got the word now, and she kept saying, "No, now." She said, "You know something, Auntie? You know, after the competition, her brother and her were in the bathroom and they were bathing. And something the brother probably doing to her and harassing her now. And she keeps saying, she turn and say, "No, stop it. No, 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 stop it." She said, "Oh, now you know no is no, and not that no is not now." You know, so I was so happy that she shared that with me. So it's not to say that we specifically said, "Hey, don't like this child, give her this word." You know, you all chose randomly. So let me just get some brief feedback on this specific one. I know we heard from Pearl first. Maybe we could go to Stacy.
Well, all I can say is that this is your arena and expertise. And if there's any way where in terms of the layout, as you would have indicated, certain words avoid at certain stages. So it's just a matter of laying it out for the pronouncer, as best you could, so that those most challenging words would really be separate. So that, but at some point, as you said, you would get to them, and also I don't know what else they could do. The added challenge may also be the fact that it's on the internet and everybody wouldn't have the same quality capacity in terms of the technology. So I don't think there's much else you can do apart from that. Again, this is the first. It's so many positives. This is the first. So yeah, this is just the best you can do in separating the lists, and that's about it.
Nice. Anyone else want to weigh in on it specifically?
I go back to what I said before. They will always find a reason when their child does not move on to the next, or the child does not win. What is wrong there? What went wrong? The rules were followed. The child did not spell the word. Move on. You understand? And then you were saying that it was looked at by others and people made comments about it. Some of these people didn't even know the rules. You understand? And who is to say that we have to say that you must get so many phonograms and each child must spell words that have 4 words with phonograms, or each round must have that? Come on.
And what I realized too, at some point in time, as you said, Renee, with the pronunciation, you were demonstrating the shape of the mouth with the U and the O, all right? Like cud. And I realized that some children were not looking at the pronouncer's mouth in order to get the shape of your mouth so that you understand what letter, right? So that N-O, how did she spell it? N-O, now, all right? She didn't look at the person's mouth to see now, what. She missed the W. So if they don't look...
Or even hair. She wasn't paying attention because you would have heard.
That's it. So if you are not paying attention, if you're not looking, you're not listening, that's not the pronouncer's fault. That is not your fault, Renee. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a non-issue because everything that was supposed to be done was done.
Punto final.
I believe it.
Nice. So let's move on to the last one because I really want us to lock off at 9. It's already minutes to 9, so we have at least 15 to 20 minutes to wrap up. We're going on to the final one where there was a discrepancy in terms of the child not being able to, apparently the parent is saying that the child was not given a fair chance to spell the word again, because she was asking to spell the word again. But I'm not going to speak on it first. I'm going to allow you to be able to see it, and then of course share your feedback on exactly what you perceive from it. So I'm going to share it now. Take a look.
Keg. K-E-G. Keg.
P-E-G. Peg.
Peg, that's not.
Should I do that over?
She thought you heard the word peg.
Yes. So Jada, I will just say it again. You
Yes,
got a mistake.
Just now, a reminder, if we hear anyone talking, that's going to be a challenge. So parents, you are asked to be quiet. Thank you.
Jada, keg. K-E-G. Keg.
C-E.
Jada? Yeah, go ahead, Jada. Oh, thank you, Jada. Jalen, can you spell the word? Jalen, are you ready? Jalen, can you spell the word kid? Listen carefully. Can you spell the word kid? K-E-D. Kid.
Right, so I'm just fast forwarding a little.
Jalen, is your mic on?
Camera, please show it in front of the camera.
Not hearing you.
Our next participant who will miss the word was Jada. So let us give Jada a big, big clap. Jada, give us a thumbs up.
Jada had her hand raised to repeat the word, and she was not given the chance.
Excuse me?
Saying she had her hand raised to repeat the word, and she was not given the chance. Her mic was also muted when she asked to repeat it.
Oh. Okay, well, first of all, one, being someone who is actually affiliated with our spelling bee underneath the portfolio of a school representative, you understand that one of the rules is if you have a query, do not interrupt the competition. So that's the rule that we are going to highlight for you. Secondly, when a child doesn't hear a word, they were taught to ask the pronouncer to repeat the word and not raise their hand because we are unable to see. We can't focus on every single camera at the same time. So we ask them to repeat the word. In addition to that, due to we miss it. All right? So those are the two things I want to highlight for you right now. And at the moment, you're actually disrupting the rest of the competition or the prize giving ceremony. If you have a query, please reach out to us afterwards, okay? Thank you. So we're moving. All right, so it was a little sticking because the file was too big to bring in, so I had to like stream it from the computer. So that's why in this one you weren't really getting to hear it clearly and see it properly. Right, so I'm going to allow you. I'm hoping that you were able to follow it properly, right? And I did it for an extended time because if you look at the child's camera, you would have been seeing. Actually, I didn't see it until after the whole competition, but apparently the child was below and she was waving or whatever the case may be and stuff like that, right? So the parent felt like the child wasn't given the opportunity to spell the word again. And what I had to explain to the parent is that the child had already spelled the word, right? And the pronouncer had already moved on. So because the pronouncer has already moved on, sorry, we can't backtrack and say, oh, give her another chance again, right? That's not how the competition goes. So of course, if the pronouncer moves on, that means the word is accepted. And she felt like that's not in the rule book. And I just had was to say, well, then this is an unwritten rule because we have had the prelims, we've had the semis, and we've had the final. And, this is how it has been ever since. So once the pronouncer accepts the word, it is already understood or has moved on. It is already understood that the pronouncer has accepted the word and is moving on. Right? So, I don't know, feedback.
Yeah. Well, since I was the pronouncer,
yes,
you realize that would have been her third try at the word. She spelled peg. I said keg very clearly, and she spelled it with a P. Now, if she had been looking at me, she would have seen that I did not make the P, movement with my mouth. So she was not looking properly. So I did give her the chance because I did ask because I felt, okay, she heard wrong. She didn't see. Let me say the word again and give her another chance. So I very clearly said, yes, it's very easy to make a mistake, a C and a K, which is what she did. She put a C and her mother poked her in her back. She's the one that was doing it. The child stopped and looked around. So the mother was trying to indicate to her. So she took a long time to even say the last letter, because the mother was indicating to her that she had done something wrong. And then immediately told her. So I said, thank you. And she said, CEG. I said, okay, thank you. And I moved on. The next boy had another K word. And he was able to spell it correctly. So I did not see she did not deserve another chance. I don't see that you spell a word wrong and then you put up your hand and you get another try. I didn't realize that was part of the rules. I'll get another try at the word. But I would have been her third opportunity.
Yeah.
I want to say that I was looking on at the competition at that time. Right. And I became a little concerned while the child was spelling, because I found that child was spelling quite well all the time.
Yes,
I had interacted. In fact, her mother kept I was in one of the sessions where I had to ask her mother not to speak for the child because she was asking me to repeat and the child didn't want it repeated. She spelled it straight off correctly. So, but what I was upset about when I observed it was that her mother coughed in the middle of the child spelling the word, which was another way of trying to get the child to correct the spelling without speaking. And I understand a mother trying to get the child to do the best, but one of the things at that age we want our children to learn is how to be independent and honest in what they engage in. We had the rules where you shouldn't speak and mommy shouldn't speak, so that they understand that's the rule. It's okay to cuddle them, it's okay to clap and tell them well done, because that's great if we see that on the screen. But we follow the rules. And I thought the mother was doing okay after that interaction with me, because I honestly thought that Jada was one of the better spellers. So when that happened, and then for the mother to interrupt and say, because I saw the interruption in the live part as well, that she was trying, I said, but I saw how you could say that when I saw the competition segment. And Jada couldn't have been trying to get you to repeat the word after you had moved on. So why would you now say in this part of the competition that she wasn't allowed to repeat it? She was allowed to try and spell it on 3 different times, and she spelled it wrong twice, loud enough for the pronouncer to move on. So it was a little upsetting, but I think that mother was probably just like the mom who spelled out the word in her excitement, it's this, you get caught up in the thing yourselves, right? Because I remember as the pronouncer, I wasn't supposed to sound out the word in one of the segments, and I was busy sounding it out each time for them because you got caught up in the excitement of helping them spell these words because they're doing so well. Yeah. So I think the mother, if she looks at it again, would realize, it wasn't necessarily that Jada was being treated unfairly, and move on. In fact, I think she should be having a party with Jada because I think she's a marvelous speller.
Yeah, she did an excellent job. She really, really did.
Yes.
I'm going to just have one more person, like quickly, because we have like 10 minutes. Quickly weigh in on it if you want to. No, I think we heard enough.
Go back to the same thing. The parents are the ones who make the mischief.
All right, Miss Beth. We think that is Miss Beth's mantra for the evening.
Miss Beth saying she loved the children. She have to get rid of them parents.
That's right. That's right. And this is from experience.
Okay.
This is from experience.
Yes, we make it more competitive. The children know that it's something fun, but the parents, they make it more competitive. It's a competition.
And cutthroat. Cutthroat.
Yeah.
Cutthroat.
If the children are left by themselves, there will be a camaraderie among them.
Amen.
And but it's the parents who do LMBT.
Well,
and then
I want to say that as a parent, society is the one telling me my children have to compete all the time. So blame society too. Thank you.
We hear that, article. We hear that. But those were the three main situations that occurred during this spelling bee competition that we had to kind of take an in-depth look at, and just make sure that there was no stone left unturned, that we did what we were supposed to do during those specific rounds. And in fact, the children were not treated out of advancing or even becoming the winner of the competition, right? So in my view, I think someone mentioned just now, I think it was Stacy, that in my capacity, I did as much as I could have, right? And in my capacity. Stacy, I'm seeing you unmuted.
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to share. That's why.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I think for the follow-up for all of this would be with the principals and the teachers and the parents to then revisit everything and really be educated. The parents as well. I know they would have gone through the process before, but just like like anything else, they do a post-mortem in their schools and review what worked, why they didn't get the word, and that kind of thing. That will just be some closure, for all of them, and to learn from their experience.
Correct. And touching on my capacity, I forgot to share one comment where, of course, something is wrong with the connection, bad weather. So we did have this issue. I don't know if you could remember, but the night before, rain just started to pour out of nowhere, and then it fell into the morning as well. Now, I think that my internet provider, the rain shouldn't, interfere with it. But I'm guessing that wasn't the case, and because of the weather, there was some interruptions. There were even some children that did not get on. Did you even know that? There were some children that did not get online for the competition, right? And that was sad. It's very sad because they did prepare for it, which made me decide that, here's what, even though they did not get online, listen, preparation for this spelling bee was not today, was not Friday the 2nd. It started at the beginning of June. So I think that the children, even though they did not get online to be a part of it, they deserve the prizes, they deserve the certificate, they deserve the medal, because every child received a medal and a certificate. So we said that, you know what? Yeah, we did give everyone, even those from prelims all the way up, they got a medal and a certificate. And we said, you know what? Even though they did not get online and be a part of the actual event, they did prepare for it. And I know these parents worked hard, and more importantly, the children worked hard. So as a result of that, we still send their certificates and their medals, and parents were so happy about that. They were so elated to still get those prizes for their children. You know, also we taking a tack back. We already went to the pronouncers. Don't know they had a work cut out for them for the future competitions. But of course, you know, we we have to highlight a comment where please pronounce the letters properly. This was a lot of the comments that were shared, right? Even in the review by the winning mom, Isabel's mom, her review was very good. It was amazing. We had really good reviews. But what she was saying is most pronouncers were good. Some could have done a little better, right? Just because it was a spelling bee and pronouncing was paramount, right? That was paramount because that is what is going to help the children get to spell the word correctly, right? So we already understand that we have to be sure to do some workshops with our pronouncers, right? We put that in place and we set up stations for everyone. And we're going to do some spelling, you know, some phonics with you and make sure that everyone has the song down pack so that we would avoid these comments in terms of make sure the pronouncers pronouncing the word properly. Hi, Gemma.
So wait, you taking all of us back to school?
Yeah, pretty much. You taught me and now I'm going to teach you.
Gemma, I don't know why you asking. You see, I keep it quiet. At this time, I'm in class like the children. I don't want miss call on me at all.
Well,
right, so you...
No, but yeah, as I told you, Renee knows I went back to school the night before the competition, you know. I went right back to school. Getting to pronounce those letters. So.
Correct.
Well, that's good. I have no problem with that. You're never too old to learn. So I'm happy for that.
So we definitely put in some workshops in place. And although you have all taught me, it's time to flip the table because now we're going to teach you. Okay, so we're going down to Auntie Ren preschool level and we're going to learn some phonic sound. Okay, I might recruit Anthea, you know, to help me because Antia, you were at a point you teach ECC as well. Am I correct?
Yeah, at Custard, but I still teach them maths. It's still maths. Okay, so I teach ECC teachers how to teach emergent mathematics. Good, so do
all right now. Taking that. So Miss would have mentioned she had she would say incident, I would say a funny moment with Jada, right? And actually that was the most memorable part of one of the most memorable part of the competition because it was so funny to see this 5-year-old, I think she's second row, she's 4 or 5 already. And she was like, no, I don't want it. I don't want her to pronounce it again. So I'm actually going to show one of my most memorable moments, and that was definitely with Jada. She was really the highlight, the highlight of it all. So I'm going to just share my
Jada,
memorable moments with you.
Is cup. Cup. And the sentence is, I saw the cup with handcuffs.
You could repeat it for her, please.
Okay, Jada, I see you shaking your head. You want me to repeat it? Because mommy talking for you. Do you want me to repeat it?
All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So mommy, leave her alone, please.
Yeah. Thank you.
Lovely. I like that. I like that.
So that was one of the most memorable moments to me when Jada was like, no, like I know the word, woman, what's wrong with you? I know the word, allow me to spell it, please. And I felt like Auntie Pearl handled that situation really well.
Yes.
It became comical.
Thumbs up to you, Pearl.
Yes, it became comical. And like I said, that is memorable for me, and I really laughed. And I mean, no one really took it seriously. It was really something funny, right? So that was my most memorable moment. So as we
just let me stick a pin a minute, Rennie, and you see that you can use that to demonstrate how the parents get entwined and involved when there is no need to. The child was capable, the child was confident, the child was able to do it. Why? And then the parent asks for it to be repeated. It's not the parent, it's about the child. So I think that little clip, hold on to it. And so the next time we have this, you show them, you say, parents, let me show you something. And you show them that.
Yeah.
It will help the parents learn to trust their children.
That's right.
Yes.
And as you say, to gain confidence, if I did not hear it properly, if I'm not confident in what I heard, I can ask for it to be repeated.
Yeah.
It is your option. You have the choice, not mommy or daddy or whoever is there with you. So hold on to that clip because that is a diamond.
In addition to that, that parent was very tense. I saw when the parent asked, you wanted to repeat the word?
Yes. That's why I'm saying that she was getting
tense.
involved.
And then she laughed afterwards. I think those parents need to go through a little session with deep breathing.
Yeah.
Before it begins. They were too near. They were too near.
Absolutely.
If we can have the children set apart from them, and the children with probably in some way with their backs to them, with their backs to the audience. You know,
I actually already have an idea, So similar to how the family members were not allowed online, because we knew that had we invited family members to join in online, they may have unmuted their mic and say, "What's wrong with you, lady?" Or, some ridiculous thing, right? So that's why we didn't invite them on the stream. So what we would do for future competitions, of course, if it's once this pandemic is over and we're able to go back out, we are only going to allow parents to view it. We have this one location, but you'll only be able to view it on screen. So we have these big monitors and you're able to view it on the monitor, and you have no input or nowhere to access that room that the children are in to do the competition. Like, I think that would be best. I remember Ravi and even Auntie Pearl told me about, I don't know if it was the scripts competition where a parent was mouthing it, and because that parent was mouthing it to the child who was facing the audience, the child was disqualified. Right? So to avoid all of those things, I think that their view should be on a screen and the children in a separate room until they are able to have some self-control. Right? So I think that
children will always be in a separate. If that is it, the children will always be in a separate room. If you are hoping, you say, until the parents get some self-control. Yes. Children will always be in a separate room.
Right. So as I said, we're near the end. I just want to take 5 minutes to talk about our future competitions. We still have a lot to discuss about the 2022 Spelling Bee competition. Of course, it's biannual, so it's twice a year. And we're hoping to do the first Spelling Bee for the first part of the year, that Spelling Bee to be a little different, where we actually open it up to individuals. So not so much coming in under the umbrella of your school, but you yourself, the parents, can register their children to be a part of the competition, right? So for that the first part of the year, we want to have different age groups. We want to have it more individualized. And for the second part of the Spelling Bee, then we would have it for the preschools, because I believe that I feel like I still want to keep the preschool level there. Give us our own part of the Spelling Bee. So I feel like during the July, that is going to be specifically for the preschools. But in the earlier part of the year, we are going to open the competition for parents to just register their children, work with them, and enter the competition. I don't know. What do you think of that?
You see what I tell you all about how she's just give you more and more work? We just barely breathingly passed through this first preschool competition. Now she gone for all children, all parents. All right, good idea. I will be willing to volunteer to help. Can we do it a smallish one? Not when you say all children, not the whole.
Yes.
I think,
yeah,
opening it up to too many
But you
age
must
groups may be a
understand,
little bit ambitious
I don't know if
right
I'm
now.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will be of course, we will set an age group, right? For the competition, and of course we will set a limit. Now, to be quite honest with you, this first competition, I actually just wanted 12 students, 12 parts. Ask Auntie Pooh, 12 participants, because I felt like this was my pilot project. This was something that I wanted to just test out first and see how it goes. But the minute CTS Ravi was like, listen, I'm on board with this competition. Let's go. Renee, if you want to take 50, let's go. I was like, no, Ravi, you will kill me. And that's when I said, you know what? Let's just go with 36. I can't go no 36. Yeah, he said, Ravi was like, let's go. We're going to 50. And I'm like, no, we're not. Right? So, of course, we're going to discuss it in greater detail, talk about it. I love hearing others' idea. I love getting advice, on better ways that I can better the competition. So I definitely do want to be hearing from you in terms of your feedback on how we can go forward with the other aspect of the competition, which is opening it up to the public. Right, because in this competition, no one could have entered if they did not come under the umbrella of a school. But the first one would allow anyone to register without coming in under the umbrella of a school. So we definitely will have some more talks on that. We definitely want to have more sponsors on board, right? I definitely want more sponsors on board. So we are going to be hunting, looking, finding, seeking sponsorship for the spelling bee competition. We want some more prizes. We want to give it. If I could give away myself to them, I'm giving them. So I love giving prizes. I just love to see the glow on the children's faces when they receive their awards, right? One of the parents told me the child was so excited with the medal. As soon as he put it around his neck, he started to go so on the whole medal fling off. So right? So that's just how overjoyed they were to receive the prizes. So we definitely want some sponsors on board. And as Mr. Oliver said, I'm not sure what may have caused him to not be here this evening. Of course, he really wanted to, but we definitely want to form a committee that would assist in developing the spelling bee, coming up with more ideas, greater ideas, right? So that is something that we can look forward to. I really hope to have you all on board for those, for that committee, to be a part of the committee, to share your ideas, to share your insights. Of course, experience is key. And you all have that. You all have that. So I definitely would love to get your input going forward. Right. So I know most of you would have said, hopes for physical spelling bee next year. We're praying that we are able to have a physical spelling bee, because we know we had the limitations with the internet, etc. So we want to try to avoid that going forward. So anything you all want to share before we kind of wrap up? I just have a video to share on the winner. The winner sent us a video that I want to share, and that would be just before we wrap up. So anyone, is there anything you would like to share before we bid everyone goodbye?
Just a quick thing to say to you, Renee. Again, congrats. You are a professional. You've set a high standard, and I'm very much inspired by you. So you keep it up and continue to be guided by God in what you do. Okay, so you have my support for sure. And a pleasure chatting with you all tonight as well.
Thanks, Dave.
I also want to say to Renee, I am so proud of you. I want to boast and say I'm so proud of my past student. And you are definitely an inspiration. And I know you are doing what you love. Keep up that love for our children. You motivate them. I just want you and your business to go from strength to strength. And may God continue to bless you, your school, and all those who pass through your hands. So congratulations, Renee. Keep it up, darling.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the encouraging words.
Yeah, ditto. Congratulations, Renee. I was very impressed with what you were able to pull off. All God's blessings to you, and may the Holy Spirit continue to smile upon you, shine upon you, so that the inspiration will be there for you to move from strength to strength. Good things come out of MOVA.
Hey, one thing, I don't
Definitely.
hide where I came from. I don't hide where I came from. I grew up in Lamppost number 148B, Chenapu, Laventille Road, Chenapu Village, MOVA, and I attended MOVA Anglican Primary School, and I moved on to MOVA Laventille Secondary School. And
where you were taught by an excellent teacher.
My next level of education was Louis Roy Tech, and I kind of stopped there, I say, oh God, enough.
Well, we know enough is not enough, because once people come out of MOVA and they have been able to provide themselves with an opportunity that grows what they contribute to this society, they never stop, because they recognize that by continuous learning, they will continue to add value to our society. I want to say congratulations as well, Renee. I'm really proud of you, and in seeing you develop as a young businesswoman, as an entrepreneur who's prepared to take the risks, to take the pain, because there's much pain in entrepreneurship, no matter what anybody says. So I feel very proud that you didn't give it up when things got really hard. I also want to say to all the parents whose children participated in this spelling bee, congratulations. Thank you for taking the chance and getting your children involved. And I want you to understand that every time there's an opportunity like this, please let your children do it, because it is those opportunities that help us to create the valuable citizens of this country. So congratulations. And of course, I know how to tell Ravi, thanks for coming on board. Because the other part is when Ravi come on board, he's come on board.
He's all in. He's all in.
So I think that combination between yourself and Ravi, we have great things to happen now. Congrats.
Thanks.
I know it was lovely meeting all of you again. Gemma, you don't know it, but I know all your business. Miss Tora Bess, you don't know it, but I am well informed. Tracy, I know all about you, and Anthea, I know you with the marionettes all the time. So just in case all you don't know, I don't know all you. I know all you very, very well. Gemma, I know you from
I was with
program. I know you from the GAP program.
GAP. Oh, yes.
Darling. Yes.
Right, that's
and
how many years
marionette.
ago.
Yeah,
Geriatrica. Right.
Yes. Stacy, Holy Name Convent.
Right, and Stacy, of course, I know.
So I know
Stacy through culture.
Yeah.
I know Gemma. Yes, of course, I know Gemma.
I met Tora. We were in teacher training college together.
And Thora, yes, and Anthea.
Well, as they say, my business. You can tell my age when I say my business, like cupola, need to have branches. It's all over the place. So,
listen, this is a whole reunion.
I tell you.
But it's really a pleasure. It's a pleasure meeting all of you all, and I hope we keep it together. It's a pleasure.
Same here. The pleasure was mine. And then when I saw the lineup and I see Gemma and I see Stacy, I felt right at home. Nice meeting you, Anthea and Pearl. We'll keep it together. We will.
Yes.
We definitely.
And I smiled because I said Renee kept her MOVA roots, man.
Yes.
And Renee, when I saw Tora and I saw Stacy, I said, good. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
And I'm happy that I was able to stay for the whole, as I told Renee, I might not have been able, but I was able to come on and I was able to stay for the whole
And I'm so happy for that. I'm so elated that you all took
Well,
the
this
time.
pandemic has made
Yes.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you all here and that you all took the time to stay. So before we go, I just want to share with you some kind words from our winner, Isabel Phillip. She won. I think we all know that she's the winner of the competition, and of course, she was so kind to send us a video, and I'm going to share that with you now. So take a look.
My name is Isabel Jacqueline Phillip, and I attend Folk River Academy for Excellence. And I enjoyed Auntie Ren's very beginner's competition, and I practiced so much with my mommy. Yeah, I took good time since it's so fun to learn, and I just love learning new words and sing these awesome words for me to win the competition, and I'm the winner.
Listen, she's such a darling. Oh my God. She's like, and I'm the winner.
I love it.
I would love to follow these children.
You know what?
to see
You
where
know
they
what
go.
is nice? She showed us that there's one phase in your life where it's cute to not have front teeth.
Yes.
You know, she's actually reminding me of that winner Zyla.
She looks so
every
cute.
Scripts competition. She reminded me, you know, the spirit of, you know,
Yes.
and I'm so she reminds me of.
Yes. She had to share that video with us. I'm so happy that mommy got to send it when she did. That was just so funny. And I think we got a Facebook comment. I didn't get to share it. And it does look like my husband. He's probably tuning in. And he was referring to that statement that Auntie Beth said, where good statement, preschool is the foundation. Right? So
right.
I think he was in agreement with you there. Right? So I took up enough of your time. We stayed on long enough. We talk about all kind of different things. I'm so happy yet again. I'm going to keep repeating it. So happy that y'all are here with me. So happy that I've met you during my learning stages. And I really hope to continue building on that relationship with you. And let's see where Spelling Bee for 2022 is going to go. Let's see. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait. So I'm so excited and more so excited about that workshop. I'll be setting up a camera.
All right,
I'll be
Randy.
setting up a
Okay.
camera. So, all right. So everyone, thanks so much for joining me.
Bye.
I'm bidding everyone goodbye now. I am, of course, going to share.
Bye,
a
everybody.
video,
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Stacey.
but we
Bye,
will not.
Anthea. Bye, Gemma. Bye, Tora.
Yes,
Bye,
bye.
Renee.
But we will not be
everyone.
returning.
A
Wait,
pleasure, pleasure.
Wait, now, Miss Best done gone. I meant to say that we're coming off after the video, but we're not coming back on, right? So I'm going to show a video, but you will be removed from the stream, and we're not coming back on. And Miss Best done gone. She's skedazzled. She's like, bye. And she's gone her
Well,
way.
the red button inviting you to press it, X, you know.
Okay.
Oh,
All
my
right.
good Lord. So I'm actually going to share some highlights from the spelling bee, but we will not be returning. So that's why I said let's bid each other goodbye one time, as we will not be returning. And again, we will be chatting soon about the competition for 2022. So take a look. Now, this is something that may not show properly. I hope that it does. So do enjoy and take care. Good night, everyone.
Okay.
Good
Night.
night. Good night, everybody.
Night. Okay, bye.
Where you come from, coulda up you, coulda down, blessings on my nation. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah.
So let's just shake off these words that we just said. Let's shake our hands in the air. Let's wave our hands like we just don't care. Wave, and wiggle your body, wiggle your body. Hey,
you're taking me right back to preschool, girl. You have me wiggling and jiggling.
Good morning to my handsome boys and pretty girls. Say, Auntie, look, don't try to bring the rain this morning. Stop singing. Hi, give it all the way. Good morning. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Auntie's feeling all the excitement. Oh my goodness, you're looking so excited. Yes, Isaiah. Isaiah's going crazy over there. This is so awesome. Good morning to our school representatives. Good morning. Hi, good morning, Jada. All right, so good morning to our...
You look so pretty and I love you.
Oh, thank you, Jada. Thank you, and you look extra pretty as well. So both of us are looking pretty with all our other friends, like Isabel, and once we have Zariah, and the handsome boys like Christopher, and Isaiah, and Dylan.
This city can't hold me. My vibes too high. And my heart it told me jump right now, we will touch the sky. Feel my love, I'm falling like a laughing flame. All who did not know me when not done, they gon' know the name. Million people coming down, dancing to a song. Can you feel the love that's in the air? When the feeling that I hear you say, I Isabel, let me hear you.
So Uncle, can we go a cappella with that? Let me go
Yes,
now.
we could. I want to hear everybody do.
Everybody unmute your mics. Let's hear you. You can unmute your mics.
Auntie Ren, thank you for inviting me. This was such a good energy, good vibes. I'm so happy to be here to see all your lovely faces. And you all did so well in spelling.
To have you. It was awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your morning and spending this time with us. So we are elated to have you on board with us. We appreciate it so much. And we hope to have you on board with us for the many competitions we're going to have coming up. So we're calling you.
Anytime at all.